Hello guys and welcome to another ProfileTree Wix YouTube tutorial. So today we're going to be creating a modernized landing page or a modernized hero section. So as you can see right in front of us here, we've got a built website that I created, and it's just basically a template and of just three different colors with moving animation of the text itself, and the image, as you can see there, also moves with it or changes with it. And along that, we've got ourselves a social area or social media area, along with a basket, and you can't see it right now, but it's got a login page or login logo, along with our horizontal menu and our logo. So I'm going to teach you how to make this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and preview it so I can show you what it looks. So as you can see, you've got some slow moving animation, and along with that, it changes the image as well with it. So it's pretty modernized looking, and it only uses, believe it or not, just editor, and it doesn't use any coding at all. So we could say goodbye to the Velo, we could say goodbye to Editor X, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make this. So right in front of us here, we've just got ourselves a nice, lovely blank white canvas, and we're going to go ahead and start modifying it. So as you can see in front of us, we've got already our strip, and we've also got our section. And then the way to do that, so you'll be brought in with something like this. So you've got your header, you've got your section, and you've also got your footer. And in order to adjust this, the easy way to do it is just to go and use the tools and click on toolbar. So this is going to be handy for the entire website. And as you can see, if I click on a section, it'll show me the height and size of it. And if I go to this one, it'll show me that it's 130, and for this one, it'll show me it's 90. So I want to change that so that it is setting at 570. So we'll go ahead and change it to 570, and that'll bring it so that it's all the way down to the bottom of the page. Now that we've got that sorted, I'm going to go ahead and add an element. You can also add an element through the left side there, as you can see. So we're going to go ahead and click it from here. And we've already got the strip up, so we're going to go ahead and click on that. So the reason why we want to use the strip is just to make sure that the website is more responsive. So that's the only reason why we want to do that. That's mainly for the mobile optimization of things, or a tablet device optimization. So we'll go ahead and click on this, and we'll change the 400 to 570. It will ensure that it's all the way down to the page itself. So we've got the very first step done. So we've got our header here, which is unmodified, and we have our modified section. Now, if we look back to the site itself, as you can see, we've got three different colors, and there's white background, we've got a black background, and we've got a peachy looking sort of background. Now, how do we go about doing this? Okay, so we'll go back to our development here, and now what we want to do is we want to click on this, and you'll get this little menu item. What we want to do is we want to go ahead and click on the layout. Okay, so this is what you'll get. You'll get the strip layout, and it'll ask you if you want to add a column, align content to left, center, or right. So we'll not prioritize any of the alignment of the content. We'll just go ahead and add a column. So now that you've added a column, there's going to be two columns now within this strip, or within this section. So you'll have strip 1 and strip 2, or column 1, sorry, and column 2. And we could even prove this by looking through the layers. As you can see, we've got our section, which is untitled. We've got our strip, column 1 and column 2. So that sort of covers our first column here, which is going to be the white background, and then this will be our black. But how about the peachy one? So the way to do that is you go ahead and click on one of the columns, just click on manage columns, and then this will come up again, and you just want to add a column. So as simple as that, we've got three columns now, and it even shows us within the layers, as you can see, column 1, column 2, column 3. Now, what we need to do here is we need to change the proportion sizes. So the way to do that is just to click on one of the columns. We'll actually move this column up a little bit so that it's aligned to the bottom. And what you want to do is you want to click on the layout, or just click on this manage columns, sorry. So you'll get the manage columns layout here, and then as you can see, if you've noticed there, it changed, and all that we're left with in black is the layout and the help. What we want to do is click layout, so that manage layout will change to strip layout. And what is strip layout? That basically just means that we're able to change the column proportions. So we've got 20, 20, and 60, and if we go ahead and click on that, as this will be the closest one, because what we have this laid out to is 60, 30, and 10. Now we want to try to go ahead and mimic that. So of course, when you're building your own website, you can go ahead and create different designs. Of course, I'm only building a sort of inspiration for how you want to build your website. So we're going to go ahead, and there's an easy way to do this, by the way, if you want to do 60, 20, 20. You don't have to mess about with moving things like that. You could just go ahead and click on the reverse layout, and that will mean that this will become 60, this will become 20, and this will become 20. So that solves our issue with the first one here, with this being color white, and then that is 60 at its proportion. However, this is where we have an issue with these two. So we have this set to 30 and we have this one set to 10. Now to change that, this is when we'll have to drag a couple of things. So as you can see, 20%, 20%, there's these 3 little dots here, or 6 little dots, and it says drag the handle to resize. So it can be a little bit fidgety, but once you've dragged it all the way up to 30 and 10, as you can see, we are now setting on 60, 30, and 10. So that's perfect. So we've got white spacing, black spacing, and a peachy color. And of course you could change the column spacing, and you can also change the padding. So that's our first, or our second step done out of the way for the strip. Now we want to go ahead and add some color into this. So by doing so, you just click on the column background itself, and you just change the color, like you can see. And we'll change this column background to, oh, didn't mean to do that. We'll click on this one, and we'll change that to the peachy color. Now if you are wondering how I got that color, it's very easy. You just click on the add, and it brings you up this color wheel or color rectangle, and from here you're able to adjust the colors that you want. And of course, as well as that, if you want a very specific color, the easy way to do that is just by go ahead and let's just say we'll open up a new page here. We'll just say peach color code. So that'll give you a list of different ones. As you can see, there's FFE5B4. So, okay. So I can go ahead and if I wanted to pick that color, as you can see, it's called Peach Echo. I can go ahead and just copy that, go back to my website that I'm building, and as you can see, it highlights that as well. I can go ahead and change that. So that'll be that color there. So I don't think that's as accurate as it says it is, that it's Peach Echo. But regardless, that's the color code, so that's what it showed up. But I want to go ahead and use this color. Okay. So that's just a simple little trick as well. And of course, you can change the column backgrounds doing this. So if it makes it easier for you, you can go ahead and use the quick edit. And then from there, you're able to just pick out which section you want to start fixing up. And it'll even show you all the content that's in it with the section and the column background, as you can see, and it even highlights it, which is great. So that's very helpful for if you yourself as a beginner and you're starting off, then that's a great wee way to get around the website. Okay, so we'll go ahead and preview that. We'll see how it looks. Okay, so it's looking good so far. So we've got our header, of course, which is non-existent. We've got our white background, our black background, and our peachy background. So now what we want to do is we want to go back to the editor, and we're going to go ahead and start modifying some stuffs. Hopefully if this loads. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the header. So as you can see here from our preview, from what we've seen, we've got a little split there. So what we want to do, before we actually move on here, we're going to go ahead and change this column background to white. Make sure that it's not a transparent background. Here we are. Now, the same thing is what we're going to do with this one. We're going to go ahead and add a strip. So we'll actually go onto the quick edit. We'll click on this. We'll add an element in. Go ahead and add a strip. And as you can see, it's messed things up. All you need to do is bring that up a little bit. Go to the tools, click on toolbar, change that to 90 maybe. And then you see now we've got all this white spacing. So the best way to get rid of that is just to double click on the footer there, if I can get it, as you can see, and that'll get rid of all the white spacing. So same thing as what we need to do is just to add the columns, and then we're just meant to go ahead and, so 1 second, we need to add one column first, and then after that we need to proportion our sizes. And then as you can see, it's almost there. We've got that all aligned. We need to now align this. Of course, there's probably other ways to do this, but this is the way that I've preferred to make it. It's just for the other pages, I want to keep it with a consistent sort of design. So we'll do it like that, and then we'll just change the column background. Bring that to a peachy color. Same for this one. We want to go ahead and change this column background to a black background, like so. And then we just want to make sure, just to make sure that this is a change color, we'll just go to the, let's see, we'll just go to change column background, we'll go to color, and then we'll change that to white, just in case. So if we go to the preview, it's nice and fluid, as you can see. It's one whole screen, and the rest of the screen is not the same. So what we want to do now is, if we go back to our site here, we've got ourselves the moving slider. So how do we go about creating something like this? So best way to do so is we want to manage this column so it's in the middle, which is perfect. It's right in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and search for a slider, and I should be able to find a boxed slider, hopefully. Let's see. So if I click on here, sorry folks, I had to just cut off the video there. I needed to try to find where the slideshow was. So it's actually called, instead of the slider or sliders, it's actually, if you just search here, it's called a box slideshow. So you want to go ahead and click on that. You can go ahead and click on one of them. As you can see, I'll just click on this one. And I just want to adjust that so that it's like this. Okay, we'll just preview that just to see how it looks. Okay, so I just need to adjust it a little bit more. Perfect. And just like that, that's in line with everything. Actually, just make sure that is lined. So now what we want to do is, I'm going to go ahead and change it to the shop brand name. But just to speed up the process, of course you could design your own way of doing this. I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste it. So for this background, I want to go ahead and change this background to a white background. Okay, and then if I preview that, nice white background, as you can see. So blends in with the header. And then what I want to do is I'll just paste my own stuffs in. And then that'll allow me to modify it a little bit. Okay. It's actually fairly easy to do this, so I'll actually just show you an example. I'll actually just try to do this from the beginning. But we'll just leave that. Okay, so go into the add elements, go to the text, find a heading that you like, click on one, and then something like that. And then we'll change it to Poppins semi-bold. Bring it up a little bit. Change my character spacing so that it's a little lower. Let's just say a 0.8. Maybe a little bit too small. Maybe a 1. Okay, something like that will do. And then increase this to 60. Okay, that's perfect. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and add myself the tiny heading, which is here. And I want to go ahead and put that in there as well. Now with that, let's see. So I listed from prices, from price, is that what I already said? Okay, from price 19.99. Change that to Poppins again, semi-bold. And then this time I want to decrease that size a little bit as it's a bit too big. Change the character spacing out as well. So minimize that. So there you go. You've got something like this. So now that looks in, it ties in well with the rest of the site or the landing page. We'll just quickly preview that, just see how it looks. As you can see, I've actually already have the animation into place. So we're moving on to that next step. So if you just preview that, you can see that it's got that animation. And I've got it so that it's delayed as well. So let's see how that looks with 3. Okay, so it's probably best if it stays the same. So you can customize this how you want to, really, which is the fun of Wix. Have it there, let's see how that looks. Yeah, looks good. There you go. So if we go ahead and let's preview that and just see how it looks. Okay. So now that we've got that sorted, that's looking okay now. I'm happy enough with it, so we'll just compare that with that. So maybe this one is slightly smaller. We could probably do something like this. Bring it down a little bit, you know. Just scooch it up a wee bit. And we just need to increase our branding. What size is this? This is when we try to find out what sizes are what. Maybe I'll bring this down to 70. Yeah, it's about the same sort of look. I'll just bring this down a little bit as well. Okay, so now what I want to do is, as you can see, we're still left with a couple of marks on the slideshow which I want to prevent from seeing. Okay, so the way to do that is you go ahead and you go to the settings, and then you're actually all able to change how they start and stuff, which is great. Let's see, might be able to find it in show navigation arrows and show slide buttons. And there we go. So that's now, I'm hoping, has disappeared. And if not, if it still hasn't disappeared, you just go into the design and then just completely wipe them out. Like so. Let's see, let's preview that. Let's have a look. Okay, I'm not understanding why that's still there. So go back to here. So sometimes it can get a little bit glitchy. I'm just going to see if I could restart it there. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so Now what we want to do, so we'll move on. So now we've got that all laid out. I'm happy enough with that. I just need to actually figure out why that's still there. So let's see. Arrow background navigation arrows is gone. Okay, so it just must be a little glitch. That shouldn't hopefully show up for you as well. That should be gone. So as we did mark it out as well on the layout here, as you could see, I've even stated that as well. So it shouldn't show, but for some reason it's just showing. So we should be able to change it up a bit, but it shouldn't be an issue anyway. So we'll leave it for the meantime, and hopefully that sort of sorts itself out. So anyway, now once we've got the slides, of course we've got 3 slides of these, as you can see. I've went ahead and created the rest of them. So as follows, as you can see, there's shop women's, shop men's. Of course, this one's a little dodgy. So what I might do is I'm going to go ahead and manage slides. You can do it by this as well. You can manage these slides, and you can, of course, go ahead and delete them. And how I did it was I did start duplicating ones, so the same ones, so that they have the same layout. And all I had to do was just rename them. So shop men's, and then I would do the same for this one, where I would put down shop women's. So it sort of looks like this. Okay, so you could do as many slides as you want. I think, I'm not sure, let's see, it's pretty much as you want really, on how many slides you want to promote for your hero section or landing section. But of course you don't want to create too much, as you can have a glitch like that one. As you can see, it's just glitched on me. I'll just reload this page. We'll try this again now that it's reloaded. Okay, so that's 3 slides again, and we'll just preview them quickly here, see if it changes. Okay, so that's one slight frustrating thing about the editor. Oh, never mind, sorry, I just need to change the fact that this needs to be called shop men's now. Okay, and then the next one will be called shop women's. Change that up here, women's. So now if you flick through the slides, you could actually just preview them there. And of course they all come with their own animation. So let's have a look. So the animation for this brand name, there's no animation yet. I am going to get that to, let me see, I'll have a look at what animation this one, so I'm going to get that one to fly in. Okay, so we'll just have that flying in like that. I'll actually just double check what speed the animation was for this section. If you just give me a second, hopefully that'll load for the editor. Okay, so I'll just double check. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like this has an animation, but the other one doesn't, and then that is at 2 seconds. Okay, so I'll just remove the animation on this, and I'll put animation on that one. And as you've seen there, you can customize the animation settings by just clicking on the customize button. You can even preview it yourself if you want to see it. It's a little bit glitchy there, so I'll just mark that as 2 seconds. Of course, you can animate it first time only, but we want to make sure this keeps rolling with the rest of the site. So I'm happy enough with that. I'll just go ahead and do the rest for the other ones. So fly in as well, customize that to 2 seconds. Do the same for slide 3. Animation set, fly in, customize for 2 seconds. And we'll actually go ahead and preview this, just see how it's looking so far. So it's all matching up how we want it. Now, as you can see there, it's an instant sort of next to the slide. You can change that by going onto the manage slides, and I'm gonna, as you can see, there's apply transition effects. I'm gonna have it as in and out. So now if I preview this, hopefully this would look a lot more fluid, as you can see there. So that's just a little glitch. I'll actually fix that quickly here. Let's see what we have going on. Must have two on top of each other by the looks of it. Yep, so we got two slides on top of each other, so we'll go ahead and remove that. That's probably why we were still getting that other part that we weren't needing. So there you go, that's all fluid now. Let's see, let's have a look at this one. Okay, so we'll go back to this one. Let's see if how we could try to make it like that other one. No, and then no. Just double check with this one to see what one that one is. So we'll go to the section here and then we'll go to the settings part. So that's a horizontal display. As you can see, that one has a different slideshow setting towards this one for some reason. I'm actually just going to check out why that's the case. 1 second. Okay, so I'm back there. Just had to have a look. So it looks like I've just got an issue with mine, but when I popped this back up, I had a little look there, and the transition effects, I've got the horizontal, crossfade, in and out, and vertical. So not to worry if you are doing the same sort of design. So it shouldn't cause an issue for you as well. I'll actually just quickly fix this if you just give me a second. Okay, sorry about that. Quickly fix that issue. So if we go ahead and have a look at our preview now, so this should all be working fine with our horizontal part, I'm hoping. There we go. So that's all working fine now. So now that we've got step 3 done, which from step 1 we did the background, did the color, and now we've done this with the slider. We're going to go ahead and move on to how we created this. So same sort of strategy, sorry, that we did there. All we need to do is we need to go back to the box slideshow, and then what we want to do is I'll click on something a little bit easier here. I'll just do this shop featured one. Okay, we'll wait for that to load in. And then what I did with the previous one is I just went ahead and modified it down so that it would suit best. Okay. And then I just planted that so that it's just right within the middle section of here. So it would have probably put it like around there. Make it a little bit bigger probably. And then I would have just moved it up a little, brought it down. Oh. Just like so. So pretty much just that way. That's how I went about doing it. So that looks fairly even. And then what I did was I just went ahead and with the other slides, of course, I'll just delete these slides. Now what's needed here is timing. So I'm just gonna say that this is shop brand. Okay. And then what I would do is change the background for an image. Wait for that to load, and then I would go ahead and search up for, let's say, a fashion portrait. So we need to find one with a man and a woman. Or we could just click on any. See, give me a little second here and I will have a look for an image. Okay, I found something that sort of matches the theme of the website, so I've got that. And of course, now all I would need to do is duplicate 2 more of these, and then I would rename this one Shop Men. Click done, and then this one I would rename this to Shop Women's. Okay, so just like that, and then what I would then do with the other slides, I would then go ahead and change these out, these images. Okay. That one will probably do. Okay, perfect. And then our next slide would be with a woman. So I'll look for something for a woman. Women, fashion. Could probably do that one, sure. There you go. So it all sort of matches the theme. She's even wearing a champion sweatshirt as well. So that all works out. So now, let's have a look here. Oh, it didn't change my slide. I'll just drag that down and then just rename this woman's instead. Women's, and then this one I'll just rename it to men's. Let's see, men's. Okay, so now I'm gonna have to look for the men's one. But while I'm doing that, if you are following the video so far, and you're finished with this tutorial, why don't you go check out some of the other ProfileTree Wix YouTube tutorials on our channel. Hopefully it'll help you out. So let's see, need to look for men's fashion. Okay, so had a little mistake there, but yes, hopefully this guide's helping you so far with the site that you're trying to build up as well, and especially if you're a beginner, hopefully this is simplified enough as well. So we'll go for that one, the one that we picked earlier on, I think. Okay, that's perfect. So now that we have these 3 slides managed in, looks like it's not happy today, is it? This wouldn't, you're not going to have the same trouble, I hope, with how I'm doing mine. Looks like I'm having an issue with mine. Let's see, we'll just delete that and then change that to men's. Hopefully that now is all good. So now if I click it back to here, it'll be the brand name, and then I'm hoping that once this changes to slide 2, it'll then change to the men's one, and then when it changes to slide 3, it'll change to the women's one. So if we go ahead and preview this, and hopefully this will all look good enough. Now, of course, we haven't fixed the transition yet. As you can see, it did change the image straight off the bot there. So what we want to do now is we're going to want to go ahead and click on this, and then we're going to modify it the same way we did with the other one. So we'll do like an in and out, and then it's to stop autoplay on hover, turn that off. Always autoplays on loading, yes. And then let's see our layout. show navigation arrows, so that's them little black ones there. We want to turn them off. And of course you could change the design. Just to double check that they are definitely not there, we'll just get rid of those. And yep, it's up to yourselves as well if you want to go ahead and get a little bit creative. Say that you wanted like a boxy border, you could do so. And then if I click off this, I'll have a black background or black outline, as you could see. So make it your own. You don't have to follow the guide completely on how it is. So there you go. It's working perfectly fine. When it goes to shop men, it goes to shop men, and then when I hover over this, it doesn't stop, which is good. Okay, so now we've completed the fourth part of how to create this. What we want to do now is go back to the editor, and now what I'm going to do here is the fifth step, which is the final step, which is creating the rest of the social media area and even my contact page and also my logo, which I'll transfer over. And then this as well, I'll show you quickly, give you like a little bonus number 6 step. You don't have to follow this one. This is just like a little bonus as well, where I'll create a drop down menu if you wanted to do it this way. I wanted to show 2 ways on how to create that drop down menu. There's the horizontal menu which you can use, or if you wanted a more clean or flush look, then I'm going to show you how to create this drop down lightbox menu. So yes, so stay tuned for that if you want to stick around. If not, then that will conclude the rest of the tutorial. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and add our logo first. So there's a few other ways of course where you can add your logo in. You don't have to follow how I'm going to be doing it, which is just using the text itself. So I'm just going to have my text sitting there. There's other tools that you can use, which is Photoshop, or you could use the Wix logo maker, their own brand if you want to use that. It's up to yourselves. So let's see, I want to bring that down to 90. Okay, and then double click on this. Okay, so now what we need to do is we're gonna have to have our menu item. So the way to do that is just click on the add elements area. Just having a little issue here. Okay, so that was a little glitchy just, but so we're back to the add elements area. If you want to go to the menu on anchor, as you can see here, you want to stick with the themed menu if you want to modify them, but if you want to use some of the horizontal menus, you can do so as well. So these are all pretty much already customized. They're uncustomizable, just in terms with the text itself. So if you're happy enough to choose some of these, you can. But I'm gonna go ahead and choose some of the theme menus. Of course, like if you have a look at some of these ones, they actually look really good. So of course I only have one page, and I'll show you how to add a couple more pages. But if I go to design and customize the design, you're limited to what you can customize, as you can see. It doesn't even give you the option to change your text. So if you go onto the themed menu, which I'll just choose a standard menu, of course. Okay, and then I'll just adjust that so that it's within this container or this column. Now I'm able to click on the design and click on customize design. And from this one, I'm able to change the text, as you can see. So if I change that to Poppins, semi-bold, and then I could change that so when it's hovered over, I could change the color of that to black or even that peach color. And of course, when it's clicked, I'll change that to a peach color. So that'll change there, as you can see. So there's a few different options on how you can change it. It's up to you primarily on how you're building your website. I'm just going to stick with the Poppins one. And I will go ahead and add the rest of the other menus. Okay, so I got all that put in now, as you can see. So I've got a few of well, a couple of pages for the horizontal menu. So as you can see, it is customizable. You can move it about if you want to. Let's just say I wanted it to be right there. You could do so. So that looks good. Okay, so sorry about that, folks. I just cut off there. So moving on. So now that we've got our logo, our little menu item here, we've got our slider, which is all sorted, and we'll actually have a preview at it and see how it looks. Okay, so as you can see, it's all functioning well. So I'm happy enough with that. So what we can do here, I'll actually just move this all the way there. And let's see, we'll just move this here a little bit, center that up, preview that. Okay. So all that's left to do for us now is that we need to go ahead and create this little area here. So the way to do that, very easy. As you could see with this one, I have just added some text, and I'll just actually get one in there for you to see. So it's just like so. The way to do that is you go to add elements, you go to text, click on any heading you want, and as you can see, it has to be smaller than that. So we'll edit that text and say we're going to make it as Twitter. And let's just find out the sizing for this one. So it's 15. Okay, so we'll drop that down to 15 also. And we'll change this to Poppins semi-bold. And as you can see, so we'll just drag it down a little bit. And the way I got that text to be rotated that way, all you need to do is you just need to drag this like so until it reaches 90 degrees. And there you go, it's as easy as that. So now I'll show you how I've got the rest all put in. So as you can see, I've got everything all put in. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Now the problem we have is that it's sort of just display text, as you could see. And with how my icon changes as well, where it turns into that. The way to fix this, so actually don't mind that bottom part, that's just a little glitch. So it's because I did this, which I'll quickly fix. So remove that, remove this, remove that, and remove this. Okay, so the way to fix that is just by double clicking on it, and you'll get this little area here. You can click on link, and then from here, all you have to do is locate this to where you want it. So as you can see, it says a page. Now, if I show you an example, so if I type in the Facebook of ProfileTree, so we'll get that up. I'll click on that. So there's the link for this. And then if I go to the web address, see you've got a bunch of different options there from none page, web address section, top, bottom of page, as you can see, lightbox, which we'll touch upon in a minute. So if you just paste in that URL here, what's great about this is that it will open a new window or current window. So you could have it so it's a current window. So as you can see, you can only open this link from your published website, but we're going to do a new window just for the purpose of the video. So we'll click on the preview, and as you can see, the difference between these three compared to that one is that we have an underline, as well as that the icon changes to a pointer. So when you click on that, it opens up a new web page, and it's, there you go, ProfileTree. So that's perfect. We got that all aligned or all configured. And if, of course, if you don't want the underscore, you can go ahead and remove it, just like so. Now, moving on to the, as I said, the step 6, which you could stay here for. So that pretty much concludes the rest of the tutorial anyway. So if you just want to stick around so you could see how we do the lightbox, you're more than welcome to stay. So as you can see here, we've got our vector art. So how I've done that is that if we go to the elements part, we go to the decorative, click on one of the basic shapes, and then let's see, we'll go ahead and adjust that to size, and we'll add that to that column. And then if you wanted to go ahead and like change that to the hamburger menu as we seen there earlier on, easy to do. Just go and click on hamburger menu, and there you go. There's a list of different options for a hamburger menu, so you can pick whatever you want. As you can see, we'll pick this one. Let's just say, okay, maybe a little bit too big. You can go ahead and adjust that if you want to, like so. So just horizontally, vertically, so something like that. And then if you wanted to change the color, you can do so as well. Fairly easy. If you go ahead and preview that, there you go. But as you can see, it's not functional. And the reason for that is because we need to go and link that up, as you can see. But we need to link that to a lightbox. But before we even link that to a lightbox, we need to go ahead and create a lightbox. So we'll go on to add elements. And I'm going to search up here for lightbox. Let's see what we get. There you go, there's a couple of light boxes. That should be an interactive, as you could see. Cool. So there's a bunch of different options there. We'll just go ahead and click on one of them, and I'll just go ahead and modify it with use here. So as you can see, there's like just different ones that you could choose from. Let's just say there's one there, color black, so that has a dark background, and then what we would want to do is we would want to delete as much of this as possible. And for this part, I'm going to go ahead and add in shop, and then a blog. What else did I have? I had a contact and a shop. Again, did I have a shop? Couldn't have been two shops. Okay, I must have, that's just an accident, so we'll just remove that. We'll just do underneath shop, we'll just do men's, women's, and about. I think that's what I was meant to do. Yes, I was. So there you go. And then to change that, make sure you highlight it, and then we'll just change that to the pop and semi-bold. And then what we'll do here is that we'll center it up, which we've got sorted. We'll do some character line spacing. Let's see what we could do. Do a custom one. Okay, nice. Increase that to 50 maybe. Maybe a bit too big. We'll decrease it down to 40. Looks a lot better. Bring that up a little bit. Okay. And you could change this as well if you wanted to. So if you have a look, there's a couple of designs that they got. So work away at them. Choose which one you want to choose. There's a couple of different ones there. And then, of course, I could change the positioning of where I want it. I can also change the design color. So we'll do that one. Matches in with the rest of the site. Alright, so what's left for me to do is to actually get this in here. So let's just go back to our lightbox. Of course, we're going to need to change the name of that lightbox. And then what I want to do is add a container. Let's see, there's a container there. Drag this up to the very top. Something like this, and then make sure that this is all the way to the back. That's what's helpful about this style bar as well. So arrange that so it is at the back, and change this one to color white. Nice, and then paste my House of Retro in. Of course, this is as basic as it gets, so you can go ahead and change it up to how you want to do it. So all that's left to do, of course, is to link these. The way to do it is how I showed you previously, but this time we're going to be using a page. So men's, women's. We'll just, let's see, we'll link that to the women's, and then the blog will link you to the blog, and contact will link you to the contact. About will link you to the, well, shop. We'll just say shop. And if you want to get rid of all those underlines, just like that. Okay, so last thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and link this up. So link this up, and as you can see here on the left side, just right there, you could see the lightbox. So you want to go ahead and click a page, which is the subscribe. And of course, what we need to do is we need to manage that lightbox and say menu item, menu lightbox, done. Okay, so now all we need to do is preview this, and we'll have a look at our current, as you could see. So it's all looking fairly well from what you can see with the site. Of course, you can go ahead and continue the rest of that style. So let's just say I wanted to, I really wanted that strip background. I can go ahead and do so. Just copy that like so, and then depending on how big you want this, that can continue on. Oh, 1 wee second. Okay, so it's just had that issue resolved. Of course, I've lost that area there, but that is all working out fine, as you could see. So if you've got your area here working great, and as you could see, so just had a few issues with that here. Let's see. We'll just drag it back. Okay, we'll preview that again. There you go. So there you are. That is how to create a modernized landing page or modernized hero section. If you guys want more videos like this, just leave them in the comment section below. If you have any questions at all regarding the video, as I said, just leave them in the comment section below. And yes, I'll see you for the next one. Thank you very much.